have to first talk about the passing of Dave Trugoy, Dave the Dove, Plug 2 from De La Soul. The other day, everybody found out that he passed away, and what a very, very sad, sad piece of news to find out, because obviously his friends, his family first, and the fans, and just the loss of somebody who means so much to hip-hop culture, which essentially means so much to popular culture. And De La Soul, man, such an underrated, unique, groundbreaking, one-of-a-kind, influential group, not just for their music, which I have to say that Dave and Paz, totally underrated MCs, completely underrated, because when you think of De La Soul, you think of like one group married together. And that's a great thing about being in a group, but that's also, I feel like, why individually they never got their kudos as individual separate MCs, because they're both ridiculous and have been consistently ridiculous since the day they came out 30 years ago. And everybody remembers when De La Soul came out, like their vibe, the colors, you know, this Daisy Age thing, from Long Island, Maceo from Brooklyn, but their whole like beads, peace and love. And if we thought that like Tribe was on the peace and love flow, De La, when they first came out with 3 Feet High and Rising, you were like, yo, what are these guys on? They were just like their interviews. I've looked at some of their interviews since we found out about this. And like, I just remember being like, yo, what's up with these dudes? This is at a time where it was like Eric B and Rakim, Cool G Rap and Polo, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, you know, EPMD. Like, it was hardcore hip hop. Kumo D. And then here comes these dudes that are like, just like, I don't know if these dudes were smoking weed at the time, but it just seemed like they just were on mushrooms and whatever. And when you first heard that Plug 1, Plug 2, Plug 1, and the beats and the production, of course, at the time, Prince Paul, and just the way they looked and the way the videos were shot. And then they went on with the Balloon Mind State and the De La Soul is Dead. And just a terrible loss. And, you know, they finally got the rights to their music, which is all being released. Well, they'll be finally getting the profits March 3rd, which I'm going to make sure to do something to, we have to buy their music because they've been getting for years and taken advantage of for years because they made bad deals when they were teenagers, literally teenagers. Imagine being 16, 17, 18 years old with this dream of making a record. You're going to sign whenever. So they got fucked over by the music industry. There's like so many other people in every genre, rock, hip hop, blues, jazz. People have been screwed over by the music industry since the start of the music industry. But it's just devastating to find out that there will be no more De La Soul shows. I've seen them perform so many times throughout the years. Seen them perform before I had met them. Seen them perform on TV, on MTV. Seen them perform when I met them. I remember meeting all three of those dudes, Maceo, Paz, and Dave in LA. It was probably like 93, maybe 94. I had done a few movies because they knew who I was. And I was shocked. I met him at, I think it was the Palladium in LA. And I was like, yo, I'm such a big fan. There were three of them together, which is always bugged out when you see like an entire group together. And I was like, yo, I'm such a fan. Like, yo, we're a fan of yours. And I was like, I was tripping that they said that. And I remember I went to Old Westbury, SUNY Old Westbury, for one semester, my one semester in college. And Dave used to be up there. at the college. And it's like De La Soul, Dave from De La Soul, True Goy the Dove. You know, he'd be up there. He had a friend up there, and I'd see him. And, you know, I was just a student there, but I was bugging because it's like, that's the crazy thing about growing up in New York City. You would see stars, hip-hop stars, like on the train, on the bus, in clubs. I remember seeing MC Light on the bus one morning on my way to Erasmus Hall High School when she had her joints out. And I'm like, MC Light on the bus. You know, you'd hear about Q-Tip and Ali Shaheed Muhammad at Murray Bertram High School. You know, dudes they were teenagers. They were teenagers. It's crazy. Like those dudes, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Bismarcky, like, I mean, I could go name on and on, but them groundbreaking dudes from the 80s, these were teenagers. The majority of these motherfuckers, when they first popped off, were teenagers. When I was in Erasmus Hall High School, the year after I left, Special Ed came out, and he was in Erasmus High School with me. It was crazy. And when I got to do the Beats, Rhymes, and Life, The Travels of a Tribe Called Quest documentary, the first people that we interviewed is all three members of De La Soul in a trailer before they were doing the Rock the Bell show. And some of that interview's in the movie. I have to get that full interview and find those clips and put it out. Because they broke down, you know, the origins of De La. They broke down the origins of Native Tongues. They broke down their relationship with Jungle Brothers. They broke down their relationship, of course, with Tribe Called Quest. And it's a dope interview. I think I interviewed those dudes, all three of them dudes, for about an hour and 45 minutes, and they gave me everything. And just to speak specifically on Dave, the nicest, coolest, calmest, chillest, most laid back in the cut, easygoing. Yeah, nobody would have anything bad to say about this dude. And always cool, always just doing his own thing, and just, you could just see his disposition. You look at those young pictures of him when he first came out in De La, that's who he was. Just like this, had this really calm, like sweet, nice, humble vibe about him every single time I saw him. And I guarantee you everybody would have the same thing to say about Dave from De La Soul. And all three of them dudes consistently always cool, chill, nice, calm, humble, and just regular dudes. So what a shame. What a sad, disappointing, devastating thing. I'm sure first and foremost for his family, for the fans, and for music, because we'll never see a De La show. And De La, you could see their show one time, 20 times. They always put on a dope live show. Always put on a dope live show. They prided themselves on it. They made a lot of money doing it. They toured around the world doing it. So shout out to De La Soul, their fans, their family, and just appreciate. And remember, March 3rd, buy an album, download the album, stream the album, give De La some of the credit and the financial due that they were that was taken away from them for all these years. And I'll make sure to remind everybody, March 3rd is the day all 6 albums come out. So buy it as a gift, buy some vinyl. I'm gonna find out the exact way the money gets to them, because I know streaming is one thing. Whatever, they deserve everything, because they changed the game. De La Soul literally changed. They changed hip hop. They changed popular culture. They changed music. And you look at going into the Super Bowl, you look at so much of hip hop is just whether it's blatant, whether it's obvious, or whether it's just little slangs being thrown out by the broadcasters, whether it's little slangs being thrown out during the commercials. Hip hop is all over the place. And one of the true groundbreaking groups that started it at a time, like I said, where it was Dookie Chains, it was Dapper Dan, it was Thuggish Ruggish Bone, it was, even if you were on that KRS-One-P, like, it was rough. Hip-hop was rough. It was macho. It was, Dapper Dan joints. It was baseball. It was And De La came with this whole other vibe, a whole other thing. And they started it. They were one of the first ones to do that, along with Jungle, along with Tribe, along with Queen Latifah, Moni Love, and that whole Native Tongues clique. But they were right there. So shout out to them. Yo, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you rate, and make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that me, Michael Rapaport, I am on YouTube ranting and raving, keeping it fully disruptive. Appreciate it.